I am Ian Stewart, reader at the University of Manchester. This is the presentation for my paper, The Breakfast Room, a case of an innovative construction project management simulation for Year 6 children. The APM, as part of their strategy, claims that project management is a life skill for all. If it's a life skill, then it's important that it is learned at an early age. But can project management be taught to children? And if so, how? Further, if project management can be taught to children, is it possible to integrate STEM, construction industry practice, and sustainability themes? This question is important to create a generation of young people who are familiar with sustainable construction project management and see it as a first career. At the heart of this educational activity is the Academic Practitioner Partnership. I run a course at the University of Manchester that uses live case studies. I obtain these from projects in the vicinity of the university, which means I have to strike deals with those project managers. In this case, Mark Ford of Beaumont Morgan offered me his construction project in return for help with his corporate social responsibilities, in this case creating social value for the area around his construction project, in particular the primary school. We went to see the head, and she was very excited about the idea of having construction workers in the school and bringing in construction materials. Of course, the answer was no. However, this led to the talk of using Lego as a construction material, and then project management tools and techniques to control the production of a Lego artifact of some kind, and then all of the good life skills that could come from that, the team working, the leadership, the self-efficacy, and so on. But this then led to the question, if a construction project were to be simulated, what kind of structure would be relevant to the children? The head suggested a breakfast room. Breakfast rooms are becoming increasingly common in UK schools, especially in deprived areas, where children perhaps may not have a meal before starting school. These rooms tend to be freestanding structures, and it's the kind of structure that could be easily visualised in the mind of a child, because it's basically a box. So from this, we created the idea of the breakfast room project management game. It's aimed to teach basic project management theory, construction project management techniques, and associated life skills in a fun and accessible way for children. So this is the basic game design. The children are put into 3 teams: the project management team, a supplier team, and a construction logistics team. They have instructions as to what to do in their teams, and they follow those instructions. The overall teaching session looks like this. There is a 30-minute teaching session where children are taught about project management concepts in scheduling and costs in particular. They also receive the business case and the brief for the breakfast room. Then a clock begins that runs at 1 minute per day, and the deadline for the project is day 60. During this phase, the teams collectively interpret the brief, collaborate over a possible design and schedule, and check decisions against the brief and impact on schedule and budget. Procurement orders are created. Here there is collaboration between the project management team and the supplier team, because only the supplier team has the costs of the materials and the lead time information. These things are necessary to generate budget and schedule and to make decisions about these things. Then comes the construction phase. This also is 30 days or 30 minutes. The project management team places procurement orders and monitors progress. The supplier team receives the orders and, according to the lead time information, makes components available. Then the construction logistics team comes to collect the components from the suppliers and performs quality checks to ensure that they're acceptable. They then assemble according to the chosen design. At the end comes the debrief, and this is so important to make sure that the learning actually happens and that the children know they've done more than simply play with Lego for the afternoon. These were the tools and techniques that I was able to communicate. iron triangle, Moscow analysis, scheduling with Gantt, bottom-up and top-down costing, and impact of change on the iron triangle. Here are some of the design choices that children could make. What was notable was that they automatically deprioritised the fancy things such as nice chairs and plenty of glazing to prioritise environmental and sustainability features such as rooftop gardens and aerogenerators. Here are the children doing construction. And ultimately it was delivered 5 days early, under budget and to quality. These were the STEM skills and competencies that were experienced. The children's lessons learned was that project management was stressful. There was lots of paper and information. Suppliers seemed to have it easy, but project managers should provide snacks for project workers when there are delays. But between the lines, it could be seen they had an experience that seemed to reflect actual practice. For future research, the classic question asked of all teaching innovations is, does it actually lead to learning gain that is retained? How might this gain fare beyond bright hand-picked children, which these were? And this is important for reaching out to groups that may not have considered a managerial role in the construction industry. And as regards practitioners, what are their real motivations for participating in these kinds of activity? What is their experience of working with an academic, and what do they feel they gain by participating in this kind of outreach? The role of practitioners in outreach activity is very under-researched. And of course, as a type of outreach, has it changed any attitude toward the construction industry in the children? It was clear the children had had an experience that reflected actual practice. Project management was a valid means of teaching and practicing life skills for children, and it is possible to integrate STEM, construction industry practice and sustainability themes. The children naturally prioritise sustainability considerations, and it's clearly possible to communicate basic theory and techniques necessary to control a project to children. Developing construction games and simulations is an excellent means to bring together practitioner and academic. Construction project managers are charged with creating social value, and academics are looking for outreach activities, so they have much to offer each other and together can create enriching, innovative teaching and learning activities to engage future project managers and satisfy the CSR requirements placed on project organisations. The interactions identified in this paper show that each stakeholder contributes unique value, the synergistic effect of which builds an outreach experience that gets children excited about construction project management and hopefully creates lasting positive memories that could influence future choices in education and work.